Shin. And then, I mean, do you think it's EG's prerogative to maybe like leave Nocturne on the table for Hotshot to pick up because he didn't have the most stellar performance in the world, or do you think they want to take it for themselves?
I think they'll most likely want to take it for themselves. Oh, and also, I'm sad to say though, that was the first game in the tournament in about 2 months that I've ever seen a Nocturne lose.
Yeah, you are
Yeah,
right. I know you were kind of heralding that every time you've seen Nocturne picked in a tournament game, he always wins,
I was holding dear to that one.
but apparently not. Your record, your streak has been broken. So Nocturne has lost in a tournament game here. But maybe if CLG pulls this out and actually wins the match itself, you can say that Nocturne wins matches and not just games.
Yeah,
We'll go with it.
exactly.
We'll go with that.
But
So
you'll say that.
Urgot and Graves, the first two people being banned from TSM Evo. Got it. I'm going to stick with that for now on. And Dr. Mundo being banned from CLG. We'll see what the second, or rather, I guess technically the third ban is here in a second. Cogmal being banned out. Does Saucy play a wicked AP Cogmal in addition to as AD? Or
Sauce has been playing AP Kog'Maw. I know he knows how to play him, but it's also for the AD Kog'Maw as well. Kog'Maw is one of those heroes that is very versatile in his role in terms of AD or AP, and in both roles is absolutely stellar. So powerful at playing AP with that such a long range poke and such high damage that unless you have a very hard engage, it's super hard to deal with. Same goes for AD. If he's playing AD and he's properly supported by say a Janna and a Lulu or a Morgana, Kog'Maw's damage output just goes through the roof.
and Lulu being the third, or I guess technically again the fourth ban from TSM Evo, and the fourth ban from CLG is going to be Riven. I'm trying to see it behind all these friend requests. They obviously
Nah,
don't want to give Wings of Death Riven again.
I'm gonna call this out right here though. I think they let they let Epik pick Kennen on purpose so that they can have Voivoi pick
Lee
Lee
Sin?
Sin against it. Lee Sin is one of the heroes that can lane against Kennen relatively easily if played correctly, and I'm sure Voivoi knows how to play Lee Sin more than correctly, and I think that's the whole reason behind it. But then again, Sauce is known for playing Kennen middle as well, and they could just do that instead. So this time, CLG does have last pick, so they could save the last pick for top lane to allow Voivod to counter pick that.
And Mumu and a potential Fiddlesticks pickup? Um,
Support Fiddlesticks, maybe.
well, Sona changing to Sona and Wukong here at the last second.
Pretty sure we get trolled.
Probably we always get trolled. People love trolling. Tarek. Tarek actually is going to lock in. Scion. Wings don't do this to me. Sivir.
I'm sure he's just listening in and saying, I know he's trying to say this,"
Yeah,
and
no.
then just fooling us.
Okay, so Sivir being picked up from TSM Evo. Forgive me. Reggie's gonna hand me my head later, I'm sure. TSM Evo picking up Sivir and Tarek as their bot lane support and carry. Now, do you think we're gonna see like maybe kind of a roaming Tarek at all, or do you think they're not gonna be able to do that?
I don't think so. Tristana and Janna should be able to hit pretty hard against Sivir by her if she's by herself, especially early on. She can't spell shield both. Tristana's jump can be spell shielded, but coupled with the both CCs that Janna has, she could encounter trouble with fighting a 2v1 scenario. And Kennen is a hero that can't really kill many things early on without his ability, without at least two abilities, just because he can't pull a stun with just one spell, because the marks of the storm just don't last that long. He needs at least level 2 to be able to stun somebody, and Tarek roaming at really early levels won't do much. If he starts roaming, it'll have to be like level 3 to level 4, and even then he'll most likely get spotted by a ward, so I don't think we're going to see a roaming Tarek this game.
All right, he's going to be, it looks like he's going to be relegated to that bot lane with his laning partner Sivir. The next two pickups from CLG are going to be Ezreal and Ari. So Saucy played a fantastic Ari in that first game. Now we're going to see Big Fat's version of Ari. I'm sure it's just as great. The Anivia, the Magi's kind of didn't quite work out for him. I'm assuming he's probably going to take a safer, more AP-centric build here that doesn't require the snowballing. But maybe if he gets a few kills under his belt in the beginning, maybe he will see a Magi's again. But Ezreal, double lift, I don't know if I've seen him play Ezreal a whole lot. Have you?
He does play Ezreal, and most importantly, though, right now, EG has the Kennen Vlad combo. That is so much
hey,
damage.
not EG, TSM Eva.
ETSM Evo, pardon me. They have the Kennen Vlad combo, which with double Will of the Ancients and the Abyssal is going to do a lot of damage. And of course, CLG waiting for the counter pick. They know that Kennen's going top, so they're going to pick Irelia against Kennen. Irelia is one of the heroes that can actually, as the game progresses, she has an easier time against certain heroes. Primarily Kennen. She does very well against Kennen because the scaling that she has off her true damage, She-10 style, which I believe does 45 true damage every auto attack. I'm not sure on that. Not too sure, but it's just going to be able to mitigate any source of resistances that Kennen has, and it's going to just cut right through his armor, right through his health. So Aurelia does very well against Kennen, and
Aurelia can lane really effectively against Vladimir as well, from what I've seen.
I don't think so. Once level 9 hits, and if there's no jungle pressure, I'm pretty sure Vlad can dominate that lane quite easily.
And it looks like we're actually going to see Nautilus played here, assuming the client doesn't bug out and they switch to Malphite again.
Yeah,
which wasn't a detriment. They definitely worked with it. But in the double AP in the Vladimir Kennen combo, if you have all the CC from Nautilus going on top of that, that's going to be really, really sick. And it Dazzle on top of that. Then you have Sivir's ultimate to catch up to people. When Kennen is blown out of the fight from Janna's Monsoon, with Sivir's ultimate, he can get right back in there real quick. So this is a pretty good pretty good lineup overall from TSM Evo. I'm very, very happy to see this. Looking at both teams, who are you going to give this one to?
Again, can't really say anything like that. It has to come into the team fighting scenario. But in the team fighting, I say that EG definitely has the edge. The AoE that they have is absolutely stellar. They have three super high damage heroes. Sivir, if left unnoticed, will, with her ricochet damage, is going to be able to kill almost anybody that she can touch. Same goes for Vladimir with his high sustained damage. And Kennen will most likely be rushing a Zhonya's Hourglass, which is going to allow him to CC all of CLG while taking literally no damage whatsoever. And couple that with Nautilus's CC, I think EG definitely has a better team fighting comp, but
Eva. We're gonna break this
blue
habit,
team,
I swear.
blue
We're gonna
team
break this habit
has
and
the
actually
side.
call them by their name. Evo, TSM Evo. But yeah,
TSM Evo
I
has the
definitely
edge,
agree.
I
They
think.
have a great team comp here. You know, the team comp of CLG is nothing to scoff at, of course. But overall, just looking at pure team fighting and how well EG has been playing, that's also something to look at. Last game, they had exceptional team fights. You know, the Riven was doing a lot of work. Of course, she did get fed, and she was putting out a lot of damage. But Wings of Death, Kennen up top, that's going to be fun to watch against Voyboy's Aurelia. I mean, Voyboy, somewhat known for playing an Aurelia, right?
Yeah, he's played Aurelia quite a bit. He knows how to play Aurelia. I'm sure he's played the matchup against Kennen many times. And again, it's just going to come down to the pressure that the jungler can provide. Last game, we didn't see that though. Last game, top lane Riven versus Rumble, it came down to hero picks. Rumble, one of the heroes that cannot really lane against Riven, so I'm not too sure why they picked Rumble. Other than that, it was just Riven being a more powerful hero than Rumble in the lane and being able to outlane Rumble effectively and therefore snowball the game into EG's favor really rapidly. I believe she ended the game godlike or unstoppable.
I think she was like 8-0, 9-0 at the end of there. Oh, probably almost legendary, if not legendary.
Yeah, and had a like 100 CS lead over Rumble. But now we're gonna see Voivoy play a much more a hero he's more comfortable with, which is Aurelia, and Wings of Death again. All of EG is playing heroes that they're very comfortable with. All all of their picks, they love to play these heroes. They play them very often, and I'm not sure why CLG is letting them have these heroes that they just love to play.
Yes, indeed. So we're getting into the last few seconds of this delay period, and we'll get straight into this game. This is game 2. This is TSM Evo, or just TSM, however you want to look at them, the other squad versus CLG. It's TSM Evo able to secure game 1. So if they're able to win this game and take it 2-0 against CLG's new lineup, then they will be advancing to the San Francisco round robin finals here in a few weeks, with the likes of Absolute Legends, who won this morning, and the other
Teamless.
Teamless and Absolute Legends, right?
Yes.
So that'll be fun. So Teamless and Absolute Legends were able to secure victories this morning. They'll be meeting us here in San Francisco, accompanied by either TSM Evo or CLG. And then this Tuesday night, we're going to have TSM, the main team, you know, the Dyrus, the Reginald, everyone you guys are familiar with, versus Legion, who are the old Team Reflex guys. They're all. That's gonna be a good match on Tuesday. But this, to me, has been probably the highlight of this week so far.
The highlight of the week, just even in real life, has been the highlight of the week for me as well.
Exactly.
And no real invades happening at level 1. And Tarek starts with 3 wards this time, while I think he has enough gold for a 4th one. He didn't buy it. No, he doesn't. This is 3 wards, 2 potions. He just bought the potions instead of the other ward, unlike Janna, who started with 2 green wards and 1 pink. So both supports starting with 3 wards, but Janna does have that pink ward, which is able to detect any green ward that Tarek is going to be placing, which is it's sort of a safety measure for the lane so that she doesn't get stunned without knowing that the stun's coming. That's really the whole purpose of having a pink ward. It's either for that or to ward a bush that is defensively warded to allow your jungler to come in for a gank unnoticed.
Yeah, just as you said, both teams playing very, very cautiously right now. No invade going on. We did see early wards come out game 1 from each team, but none of that this time. Do you think there's really a reason behind that, or they just don't want to waste them right now?
I think they just don't want to waste them right now. Last time they did that, nothing really came out of it, and I'm sure they know that nothing happened out of it. And so this time they're just not going to waste their wards that early, because even with the wards early, an invasion didn't happen, a counter gank didn't happen, or even the counter jungle happened. So having the wards early really not going to do much for them right now, and I think that's the reason behind it.
That's going to be a smiteless pull for Hotshot GG here in the jungle, taking his blue buff rather quickly. Nautilus didn't get the best leash there, so I think he is going to have to smite this blue buff. I'm not quite sure why his team kind of left him in the dust there. It's kind of sad to see.
Yeah, and now what I want to see is Hotshot skipping race and trying to get red buff and ganking that, and ganking top, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Beautiful. He has smite up, and he can get red buff here and get a level 3 gank off on Cannon, which he can do because Voivod is about to hit level 2, which will give him his Equilibrium Strike, which is his stun/slow.
Yes, indeed. He does finish off his red buff rather quickly. He's going to come up top. He's coming to the tri-brush, perhaps going into the top brush for a gank. No, it looks like he's going to come from the river here. Cannon has leveled his lightning rush now, so he's going to be able to escape rather effectively. He's a squirrely little champion there. The Blade Surge and Equilibrium Strike will get a stun off onto Cannon. I apologize, my directed camera kicked in. I don't know why it took me away from that, but Cannon was able to escape out of that after the stun of Equilibrium Strike wore off.
I think Hotshot could have gone for the kill on that, because Cannon did get stunned, and instead of opting to go for landing the Dust Ringer on a stunned Cannon, he just walked right next to him and even missed his Dust Ringer later. So I'm not too sure what he's doing in that respect.
Nautilus is in his own jungle right now, finishing off his red buff finally, so he's a little bit behind. He is level 3 to Hotshot's level 3 as well. Hotshot has secured only 9 CS because he did skip his Wraith Camp and his double Golem, so while Nautilus is behind on the buff, he did get it a little bit later. He did decide to go farm a little bit more instead, so there's the opportunity cost of that. Waste a little bit more time, but Hotshot didn't secure a kill up top, so it's going to be all right. Nautilus decides to walk onto this Ahri. The dredge line right after the flash does lock her down. The Riptide doing a ton of damage. The Sanguine Pool is going to be able to take down Big Fat LP, and the flash is going to save Saucy. The Ignite is not going to tick enough. No means the transfusion does save his life right there. So the first blood coming out, Saucy able to pick that up for TSM Evo against Big Fat LP's Ahri.
Now that was really unfortunate because she flashed and still got hit by the dredge line, which